I guess, from that crazy teenager that skipped school and did whatever she wanted into my business where I'm like, let's just do whatever you want. I mean, you have to submit the paperwork. I mean, that's the one rule I guess we for sure have to follow. But other than that, if you can dream it, I can make it happen.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Creative Krunch podcast. We're here, episode 3 of this month, and I think we deserve a round of applause because I think that's the most consistent we've ever been. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I've listened to all of them.
Let's go. Our guest has listened to all of them. We're not going to waste any time. We are here with a very special guest with a great intro that we wrote up. Our guest is the elopement photographer queen, the iPhone photography course professional, aficionado, a awesome mom, and a good friend,
cat mom,
and a cat mom too. Without further ado, Jamie Tobin Photography.
Woo!
Let's go.
Crowd goes wild.
That's probably the best intro I've ever done. To be quite honest with you,
I think it's great. I loved it. Honestly, I'm gonna play it every single day.
When you need a little pick me up.
A little pick me up. Jinx, you owe me soda.
Before we get too serious, I have a question I want to ask you guys. A situation I was put in today. So right before this podcast, I took a shower. Okay, and then I got out of the shower.
You do that.
This was like 1:40. I got out of the shower, and I went to go grab a towel, and there was no towel. So have you ever been in a situation where you get out of the shower and you realize you didn't grab a towel, you're soaking wet, and you're like put with these two options. You're like, do I either run naked to the closest closet, or do I grab this tiny hand towel and dry my body off with a hand towel? Because that was the choice that I made. I chose to use this tiny little rag to dry my body off.
Hand towel.
What would you choose?
I would just run through the house naked. I am the naked neighbor.
I probably could have run, but I was like, I was determining, like, is that enough to dry me off, or do I need to go? And I was like, I think that can get the most of the water off.
I think I'm with you, Ben, and I think I'm the hand towel, just for a more convenience sake. It's right there. I don't have to go in it, but my towels are in my bathroom. So
see, all my towels are in my bathroom, so I usually don't run into that issue because I do laundry every day. And please don't make that seem like I am a superhero stay-at-home mom. I'm not.
Okay, explain that a little bit. Like, are you like, okay, like how, are you doing like a small load, or do you set your setting on your wash to like large?
My washing machine is old school and it is the best. It doesn't have any other buttons.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I can choose like the water amount, but I like the extra rinse feature because it just makes me feel clean.
That makes sense.
I don't know. I have to do laundry like every day.
Honestly,
legit.
Is it mostly? Is it like whose clothes is it mainly?
It's mostly theirs. Legit, I wear like the same 3 things every 3 days. Or I just sit in my bathrobe all day.
I mean, that's probably the same for me. I wear like the same pants for like 3-4 days in a row.
If I put pants on.
Yeah. It's too cold in my house to not wear pants. I have to wear pants.
See, and I like it cold in the house, and Mark keeps turning the thermostat up, and it is driving me nuts. Because I'm so sweaty, and I keep turning it back down to 67. And he keeps turning it back up to like 71, and I'm like, no.
Is it a smart thermostat?
No, our house is not that sophisticated.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could do a smart thermostat, but we just have radiator heat.
We just did a smart doorbell though.
Oh, those are cool.
So that's but it's kind of taken me, like, I'm not used to the sound of the smart doorbell. So, like, I don't register, like, when it goes off, if that makes sense, because I'm used to, like, our other doorbell sound. But we also get, like, a video notification, like, someone's at your door. And I was like, who's at my door? I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, I get that.
I just want to make a quick note that before we started, Ben said, before we get too serious, or no, how did you phrase that?
He said he wanted to ask us a serious question.
Yes, you said you wanted to ask us a serious question. And I just want to throw that was not a serious question at all. And that has turned us into talking about laundry and now other house things.
This is why we can't. Okay, focus.
No, I'm not. I just want to call out Ben for asking a serious question that was absolutely not at all.
And this is what happens on wedding days when you have all three of us. We can go off on a whole different tangent. And then
that's true.
10 minutes of ceremony and we're in a completely different. We can just.
Yeah,
it's a lot like with Eric and Ashley when we work with them. It's very similar.
Eric's good about getting us back on track, and I think Mark is really good about getting us back on track too.
Mark is the mom, yeah.
From when
okay, kids, come on.
Exactly.
His little clipboard.
Well, anyway, I want to make sure you get a good introduction to everybody. So, Jamie, why don't you go ahead and give our viewers, our listeners, just a quick little intro onto who you are, what you do, whatever you want to tell them.
Okay, so, hi. Hi. Actually,
Hello.
no, that's really funny. So, literally, my website is, like, anytime you, like, text me, email me, anything, I always, like, draw out the eyes, but that's legit how I talk. Like, that Cricket commercial, they stole that from me, because I'm always like, hi, okay, bye. Anyway, but, sidebar, already distracted.
You're good. No, you're good.
I am a wedding photographer that retired from the large wedding world. I only do elopements, small weddings, and occasionally I'll associate shoot for my friends because I can't say no. But other than that, I created my iPhone course, and I'm working on some other things right now that are still secret. But yeah, my iPhone course is awesome, and I love it. So that's my baby right now that I am nurturing and getting ready to launch again.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're excited to kind of dive a little bit deeper on that too. But yeah, well, first of all, thank you for coming on and hanging out with us for the day. Curious to see how this is going to go.
Why wouldn't I hang out with you guys? You guys are hilarious. We already said we had to be serious this whole time.
Yeah.
No laughter.
Oh yeah, no fun, no laughter, no joking. So
I don't think anyone has picked up on that sarcasm, but maybe they will after listening to this.
So the first question is, can you tell us about your background and how you became a photographer?
I can't. Okay.
Okay, yeah, but honestly,
Seriously.
what made you jump into the photographer world? We're curious to know.
So I'm not like one of like the photographer story where it's like I picked up a camera one day. No, I legit was like born into the wedding world. I was a flower girl from the start. I have been hooked like a cheesy rom-com movie on the wedding world since I was a kid. But like, I don't know, I've just been in the wedding world forever, and then I was always messing around with cameras, so like either the Polaroid cameras, shout out to the 90s, but like my grandpa had certain film cameras that he ended up giving me, and I got my first digital camera when I was I think 12. It wasn't technically mine, it was my dad's, but I stole it. No one else knew how to use it. And then like I got my cute little point and shoot. Where is it? It's over here somewhere. I don't know.
Was it like a film or is it digital?
It's like the cute little Kodak one. It's on the shelf somewhere. Whatever. But like I got that in high school, and then I vividly remember in junior high, I told my art teacher that I wanted to be a photographer when I grew up because I could not stop taking pictures. I had my iPod, I had camera, everything, and her being the sarcastic, awesome lady I love her. I still think about her. She's just like, okay, that's gonna be really hard, but I think you're crazy enough to do it. I was like, okay, thanks. Like, she was super sarcastic, and some people didn't like her, but like, we spoke the same language, and she was great.
Who was your art teacher? Because you went to Waverly, right?
I did go to Waverly.
So who was your art teacher in middle school?
Oh, shit, what was her name? Mrs. I can't remember her name, but she was this old lady. She moved to Minnesota. See, I know these other details, but I can't remember her name.
Okay. So I probably never had her.
My high school art teacher and I did not get along. There's lots of stories there, but I don't know how appropriate they are.
Hey, this is an open forum. We can talk about whatever. We can unpack everything.
Like, my junior high teacher was just like, yeah, okay, that's gonna be hard, but go for it. And then my high school art teacher told me I sucked, and I should give up. Which I'm not gonna lie, I did suck when I was like teenager. Everyone sucks when they first start, but
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
sorry to get you off track. I just know. Yes, Jamie and I went to the same middle school and high school, but
even though we never like crossed paths until afterwards.
Yeah, until weddings actually. So.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But
anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Everything is connected.
That's true.
I'm sorry. I speak TikTok sounds.
No, you're good. I haven't been on TikTok in a minute. Is TikTok? Do you do a lot with TikTok?
I've been on TikTok more than Instagram. I don't know why. I feel like I'm having more fun on TikTok because like on TikTok it's fine if you post 10 times a day because that's what you're supposed to do on TikTok. Mm-hmm. But if you do that on Instagram, you're annoying and people unfollow you.
Yeah, that's true.
So like I feel like I've been hanging out more on TikTok because it just makes me laugh. Like I love short form video, so I just feel like I'm always over there. But I don't know. I mean I still love Instagram. Like Instagram and TikTok are my bread and butter. I love them.
It's pretty crazy how easy it is to get like we don't have to pay for. I mean you can if you want to, but with Instagram and TikTok it's just free advertisement really.
Yes, yeah.
And how easy it is to, I wouldn't say easy, but how much easier it is to go viral on TikTok rather than like Instagram or anything like that. I'm curious, what kind of content for like your business, Jamie Tobin Photography, what kind of content are you putting out on TikTok, on Instagram, but more, since things are more shifted towards the short form video content, I'm curious from a photographer standpoint, what you're putting out there and like if you're seeing a lot of results from it.
So I booked 3 weddings from TikTok last year, and they were all super last minute. Like they booked me within 3 months of their wedding date, and they are all hilarious. I love them. One of my couples that booked me was their wedding was in Pennsylvania, and it was on my birthday. So Ooh. I spent my birthday with my couples, but it was fun. They got married in this cute little Airbnb on a lake, and it was fun. Anyway, sidetracked. But for like TikTok's what I normally post. So like I post everything. I know everyone talks about like you only should post one thing, but it's like I feel like my brand is so personal that I do share everything about my life with my followers. So like it wouldn't feel right for me not to post everything and only post marketing, quote unquote. Because it's like, so I share a little bit of like mom life, photography life, what I'm up to, trends that I think are funny. I don't do every trend because not every trend I think is funny or I don't get it. I'm not a videographer, so like I'm not good at videography. Like I wish I was, like I can see it in my head, but I have no idea how to make it. So that's fine. But like for the most part, I just make everything in the TikTok app. And then I'm like, well, it's half-assed, but half-assed does better than nothing. So
that's true. That's cool. I'm glad you brought that up because that's one of the things when I like think of you and your business, I think of like you and your personality first before I think of like the photography, the business side of things. And I think that's so important, especially like with what we all do with weddings and stuff, how important it is to be able to connect and do that stuff. So I just want to say you do a very, very, very good job with that. So I'm happy you brought that up.
Because that's what I try to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's so easy for people to get into this habit of being someone that they're not on their, but you clearly are yourself. Like, based on us knowing you personally, on a personal level, you clearly are the person that you show to your couples.
I'm gonna blame
that's really
Snapchat because like I have been storying since before stories were a thing on Instagram, and then like once they came out on Instagram, I kind of left Snapchat because I was like, eh. At first, I was kind of like Instagram wants to be Snapchat, and then like once they developed stories a little bit more, I was like, oh, this is fun because I can post work on my feed, and then I can talk to you guys, and then we can just do random. I'm a whore for Instagram stories. I love it. I love talking to you guys.
I'm a whore for Instagram stories.
It's just, I post Instagram stories way too much. I love them.
I need to dig a little bit of that. I am so bad about posting on my story.
I'm so bad at posting like feed photo work. I schedule out my posts. So like the majority of the time, if you see any of my posts on Facebook, half the time I forgot about it because I scheduled it 75 days ago. So
wow.
I was like, I'm like, oh, hey, cool. I posted
Do you really
something.
You really go that far in advance? Like
You
75
can, so on Facebook in like this is what I use. I know everyone talks about like Plan or, those apps. I legit just use Facebook because it's free. It's not pretty, but so like once a month I sit down and I just go and like schedule posts, and you can schedule posts up to 75 days. So I did this yesterday. So I have like posts scheduled into March already. And it's mostly just like getting things ready for what I plan on marketing. So like when I relaunch the iPhone course, it's like I already have like this post scheduled. But like anything on Facebook that you see of mine, majority of the time, it was scheduled. Like the only time I ever post organic stuff is like on my Instagram feed because my Instagram feed, I like to post on Instagram because it's fun. And like Facebook, I post just so my page stays relevant because I don't get a lot of my clients from Facebook, but it's fun to share.
Yeah. Tell us about that whole Instagram debacle. Was it last year or 2 years ago where you got lost access, or what was going on there? I can't remember.
Was that 20? No, Mercer was around. I'm trying to remember what my feed, like, it was December. I lost access to like my Instagram account, but it was weird because I could log in, but my entire, and like I've had my Jamie Tobin photo, and so I created a backup account, Jamie Tobin Photography, which I understand is a little confusing, but like at the time photography was like, when I first created Jamie Tobin Photo, that was how long your username could be, so that's why it was photo and not photography. So then I created my backup account as photography, and I don't care. You get like, people can tag me in both accounts, but my backup account says backup account. But anyway, when I lost it, like I didn't know what to do. Because like no one had hacked it or anything like that. I had just like, I couldn't post, like all I could post was black stories, like nothing. I couldn't post like photos, I couldn't record anything, I couldn't share anything on my feed, and like all of my features were gone. So like when I open up Instagram, like there was no polls or questions, like all of those kinds of things gone. So I was like, I don't know what to do, and I couldn't see any of my DMs either. So like I was like, granted, this is why I tell people to reach out to me through email on my website, but like I was like, I have open conversations with other vendors. I'm just like, this sucks. I have created so many relationships on Instagram and I can't see any of them, and I was freaking out. And then I got it back randomly. I have no idea. I sent like 1 million help desk tickets to Instagram. Not that I feel like that did anything, but yeah.
Yeah, I remember when all that was going down. I felt so bad.
I didn't know what to do, and then it came back. I have no advice. It just sucks. And
well, at least
make sure you have your email list set up. Yeah, This is why you make sure you have an email list and everything else.
Do you still post regularly to your backup account just to keep your feed strong, or do you just have it just in case?
I just have it. I haven't posted on it in a while. Honestly, it's not even logged in on my phone right now. So
okay. So maybe that's the one that's you're gonna lose access to.
Yeah, next. I'll probably lose access to that one because I haven't done anything with it in a while. But whoops.
Reed and I have an account called Reed and Ben, but we haven't done anything with it in a long time.
I
still have access to it.
3 posts.
What are you guys both eating?
Jolly Rancher.
What is this? A fruit snack.
I got plenty
I thought you were going to say
snacks.
like a vitamin or something.
I thought it was those red
chocolate on
hot
vitamins.
chili things. I hate those
Oh, those are
things.
good.
The cinnamon
I think
candies.
they're pretty good. I can only eat so many of them.
They give me a headache. Same with peppermint. I can't do peppermint, and I can't do those red hot candy things that are
The
cinnamon.
cherry ball things or whatever.
No, they look like Mike and Ike's, but they're cinnamon.
Oh, hot tamales.
Thank you.
There we go. I have some of those downstairs, actually.
I'm not a big sugar guy anymore. I used to be probably addicted to sugar, but if anyone knows sugar in this crowd right here, it's Ben over there.
Oh,
That man
absolutely.
eats sugar for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Honestly.
I mean, I am more addicted to Dr. Pepper and coffee. So those are my
Reed
two
likes his
vices.
Dr. Pepper.
I can't give them up.
I do, but I'm doing like a 12-week thing with some of the guys that I met in California, and we're giving up sugary drinks and like trying to clean up our diet a little bit. So no more Dr. Pepper for me for whatever 12 weeks is, 3 months? No.
I believe in you. You can do it.
Yeah.
I gave up alcohol for 10 weeks once. That was fun. Granted, I have unintentionally done dry January. I didn't realize I did.
Didn't mean to do it, just happened.
Didn't mean to do it, it just happened. But I'm more of a summer drinker. I like wines and Trulies. And I don't feel like I drink in the winter. I don't intentionally do it, but like I don't know. I feel like we hang out at the breweries and stuff in the summer, but
Yeah,
we
it's
don't
not
hang
as
out.
fun. Yeah, it's not as
I don't
fun to
know.
go out in the winter when it's cold and
I'm
do
a
all that
hermit
stuff.
in the winter.
I feel the same way. I try to get out and do stuff like snowboarding, but it's tough when it gets so freaking cold. But
It's also tough with a toddler because
Yeah.
you can't do anything, and I wish we lived closer to Des Moines. Just because at the age he's at, there's nothing except the library to do with him, and you can only do that so many days in a row.
yeah,
Speaking of kids, how much... Now, I know we're in a different situation because you're the mom and I don't have to, like, breastfeed or anything. But, like, how much work do you think I'm going to get done in the next month? Not like I'm going to put that as my main focus, but even if I'm like, maybe in this nap time, I could get 10 seconds done on this video. Like, do you anticipate me getting anything done? Or do you think the time that the baby's sleeping, I should, like, focus on other things?
So, if I'm like looking back to when Mercer was a newborn, it was the easiest point in parenting.
Really?
Granted, I was also recovering from my C-section, and
Yeah.
that was brutal.
Gosh, I feel like that story needs to be an episode of itself. I remember
Seriously, though.
reading it and just being like sucked into that story. Whatever you did, that was incredible writing.
Thanks, I wrote that
yeah,
myself.
that was really good. Really, really good.
I wrote that at like 12 hours postpartum.
Gosh, I wish I was that good at writing. But yeah,
Well,
so you
like
had a
legit, I still
C-section.
have my note. Anyway, so yeah,
Really?
because I took notes, so I remembered everything that happened because I
That's
actually
so
don't
smart.
remember Mercer's birth because I was knocked out.
Oh yeah.
But for the most part, newborns is the easiest stage of kids, and it's so cute because they're so scrunchy. But also remembering, so like Mark was still working for Target at the time, and that's a whole different battle in itself. But he was supposed to be on 4 weeks of parental leave, but there was a whole bunch of confusion, and they kept calling him. Like, are you coming into work? Are you coming into work? And he's like, my wife is actively in labor. We were at the hospital. No.
That's annoying.
I told you when her due date was. Like, no.
Yeah.
And then they kept calling saying that, like, his parental leave wasn't approved. And so it was very stressful that 4 weeks he was supposed to be off because he was on the phone. I kid you not. I think 17 phone calls happened within the first
Oh,
2
my
weeks of Mercer's
gosh.
life. Yeah, it was not
Jeez.
great. So Mark was stressing out about work, and then they just kept calling. And I swear to God, we did not leave that bed for a month. We saved a bunch of Disney shows, and we just lay in
that's
bed for a
cool.
month. Like, I know that I was obviously breastfeeding and recovering from surgery, but Mark was still just as tired because I couldn't bend over and I couldn't lift anything. So he had to pick up all the slack there. I couldn't do laundry. I couldn't.
That makes
and
sense.
that was very difficult for someone like me because I like doing everything myself.
Yeah.
So, like, Mark was basically constantly reminding me to sit still, and I did not want to. But also, like, it was, like, parenting-wise, easiest. Everything else-wise, you think you'll still be able to get stuff done. But all of a sudden, it's been 4 weeks and you haven't done anything except snuggle your baby.
Yeah.
Which is fine, because it's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But, like, also don't beat yourself up if you don't do anything. I did my first job 6 weeks postpartum. And it was brutal. It was awful. It was a 12-hour job. And granted, I love the job. But, like, I would not recommend it. It was very, like, it wasn't... This is gonna sound shitty. It wasn't hard leaving Mercer. Like, it was fine, like, leaving him with my mom while I was working. It was more so hard because my body wasn't ready. I was super tired, and I had to pump, and then I had to put milk in the... Like, it was a mess.
Yeah, that does
and, like, trying to figure out how to drop off a whole nother human that you're like, shit, I can't just be young and dumb anymore. Like, I have this whole other... But it's, like, fun. It's not... It's hard to explain until you're in it, because then you get it. It's... But, like, because you're like, it's just this cute little creature. Oh, my God. Hi, cute little creature.
Oh, hi.
Oh, cutie.
Hang on. This is Pikachu.
Let's all go get our cats.
Pikachu is Mercer's cat. Pikachu has been obsessed with Mercer since I was pregnant with him. She follows him around everywhere. It is adorable.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if it was your Snapchat story or Instagram where you had a picture of, was it Pikachu in the bed with you while you were pregnant, and then
Yep, that was Snapchat.
now with Mercer?
Yeah.
That was cute. That's fun.
Because the cats would cuddle, like, I think you have the cats cuddling Lauren too, don't you?
Say that again, the cat's cuddling?
Like, the cats will cuddle Lauren too, won't they?
Oh, yeah, they smother her, and I'm like, they just walk past me.
Animals just know. Like,
Yeah,
but once Mercer came, only Pikachu was really still obsessed with him. Raichu was pissed, like most firstborns, and Pichu just didn't care. So she's the baby, and she's just like, okay, whatever.
All right. This is the new thing. Okay. Ben, I was thinking about it.
gosh.
Since you have to give Olive some meds here soon, you should do it on the air, on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, you want me to do it on the podcast so everyone can watch that?
Yeah.
Oh, she'd love that. She hates her
That was
meds.
just a joke. We'll probably hit it just right where we can throw the advertisement in right when you have to go do that, I would assume.
Now,
Yeah.
Advertising for McDonald's, McChickens, and large
Honestly,
Cokes.
that's our long-term goal with the grid.
Just a McDonald's. We're going to turn into a McDonald's podcast.
I had a large McDonald's Coke for lunch today. So crispy. So good.
Did you have to go through the drive-thru, or was it DoorDash, or?
Hell no, I DoorDash. I'm a toddler.
Yeah,
I will gladly tip for DoorDash. Once I don't go grocery shopping anymore, I have budgeted for tips now because I'm not leaving the house. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, we use DoorDash a lot too. Even though we're like only a few blocks from Hy-Vee.
Yeah. I'm trying to be better about it.
Hy-Vee is literally a mile. Like, do you know where Firehouse Subs used to be off University, and like Hy-Vee's right there?
Oh yeah.
Like, literally, I'm like across. It's like I can walk the Hy-Vee, and I get delivery. It's fine.
That's
You don't
funny.
need it. It's a lot of time to do that stuff, especially with like being a stay-at-home mom and working and doing that. I mean, I can only imagine. I'm not a stay-at-home mom. But
I think you'd be a great stay-at-home mom. Just like throw on a wig. It would be great.
maybe I'll try it. That'd be a fun video maybe one day. I'll do it
like
with your
it.
kid, Ben.
Should we keep going down some of these questions before people are like, "Why are we listening to this podcast?"
We probably should,
Yeah.
right? We should probably like focus. I even mood boarded out all of your questions so that I was ready.
That's smart. That's smart. You're pretty
Well,
more
I mean,
prepared than we are.
That's also the thing with this podcast too. You know, it's like, yeah, we have questions just to kind of help flow the conversation, whether the conversation goes to having a kid or not or whatever. But yeah, I think you can ask the next one, Ben. Put a little spice in it.
What have we even asked so far? One question?
The 1 out of 10. Yeah. So she told us about like her experience of wanting to be a photographer since she's been in the wedding industry forever.
Forgot about that question already.
That's how it goes. That's okay.
I mean, I guess we can ask the second question that we had, which was, it's kind of vague, but like, I guess just, what does the process look like for you when you're like, I gotta get that one shot? Like, I mean, when we leave a wedding, we're always like, did you get that like one shot? Like, usually we're trying to leave with like those one shots that just are like, if you were to make a reel of like all your favorite shots, each wedding would have like its own like awesome shot. How do you
legit like thought about this, right? So like for like, I know what you're talking about. So it's like when you get golden hour on a mountain, and it's like, like,
and it's almost like when you are getting that shot, you're like, this is it. I'm living that moment right now. I'm getting that shot.
But I also thought about it because I'm like, I feel like I used to be in that mindset where it had to be that shot all the time, even though that shot does not equally apply to all of my couples. So like, I thought about this question a lot because I'm just like, I feel like me setting up to that epic shot is more like what my couples think that epic shot is. And so like, it goes way back to like prep work and just like asking them general questions and things. So like, to get that epic shot on wedding day, I have to know everything. I like, that's why it's like, to me, it's questionnaires and like talking to my couples and texting them and just getting to know them. That's how I get that epic shot for them and the ones they post, because I know what they want. So like, for some of my couples, that epic shot means legit all candid photos of hugging grandma, grandpa, friends, goofing off, like glow stick goof, whatever, crazy party. And like, for some of my other couples where it's just them, it is that legit golden hour in the mountains, because that's their epic shot priority. So like, I feel like for me, getting that epic shot means prioritizing like each of my couples and like what exactly they want, and not taking myself out of the equation. Like, I'm just the tool, if that makes sense.
No, that actually makes a lot of sense.
I'm curious, what is it about like the elopements that like drives you? Why did you leave the bigger weddings?
Those awesome.
What is
Catholic
it about
weddings.
elopements? The great, beautiful, wonderful Catholic weddings.
Nothing against Catholic weddings, by the way.
I was gonna say, I want to start by
totally
saying there is
it.
nothing wrong with large weddings. The first wedding I ever worked with Ben at was legit one of my favorite Catholic weddings. Heather and Greg, shout out if you ever hear this. That like, I think
it's important to establish that Catholic weddings, the reason we are somewhat sarcastic about it is because that's where we have the most issues as a photographer and videographer. And they're it's always a headache with like trying to get the priest to trust us and like allow us to get the shots we need. That's why we're iffy about it.
Yeah. You also have to look at it like this is our job. We shoot weddings, and I think all of us have shot our fair share of Catholic weddings, which all kind of tend to be very similar in the way that they're laid out and it goes. And it's hard to get what we want creatively when you have that kind of thing. So yes, nothing against Catholic weddings.
Yes.
They're
all right,
like,
continue.
please get married. Yeah. But anyway, what is it that makes you on fire about elopements?
I love how different they are. There's none of my weddings are never the same. I had a handful of weddings in New England this last fall, which New England, like Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maine, all up in there. And all of them were different, like all of them. And it's so funny too, seeing how people get married in Iowa versus like Oregon, Colorado, anywhere in the East Coast. It's so different. And it's so funny working with different vendors like across the country, because I'm like, all of, like, everybody's, and, like, I'm so used to you guys in Midwest mentality, and then taking that somewhere else, people are like, holy shit, calm down. And I'm like, I can't. This is who I am. But, like, I love how different they are. Elopements, and they're so personal, and you can literally do whatever you want. And that's what makes them fun, is because you're legit dreaming up your perfect date night, and we're going to go do that. Either whether you've done it before, whether it's something you guys do all the time as a couple, or something you want to try, a location you've never been to, or a location that means a lot to you. It's something like it, and you can bring people with you when you elope. It doesn't have to just be you two. And I feel like that's a lot of people, like, they think of elopements where it's just a couple getting married at the courthouse because she's pregnant, and it's like, no, that's not what we do anymore. It's like a helicopter tour on a glacier in Alaska, which I'm doing in August, and I can't wait. It's stuff like this where it's just like, that sounds crazy, let's go share our vows in nature somewhere where we either want to go, have already been, or just doing whatever the fuck we want. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Without all the rules and the fluff and the bitchy mother-in-laws, and it's just rules and fluff have never sat well with me. And it's kind of funny because growing up, my parents always called me Ferris, because I was like, rules are more like guidelines anyway. Let's figure it out. And I have just, like, transitioned, I guess, from that crazy teenager that skipped school and did whatever she wanted into my business, where I'm like, let's just do whatever you want. I mean, you have to submit the paperwork. I mean, that's the one rule I guess we for sure have to follow. But other than that, if you can dream it, I can make it happen.
That's cool. I like that line. If you can dream it, we can. Is that like a slogan that you have, or did you?
No, I just literally just said that right now. I don't know.
We'll have to clip that and make that a reel, because that's really good.
If you can dream it, I can make it.
Yeah.
I like
well,
that.
I guess the baseball thing, right? If you something.
Oh, if you build it, they will come.
There we go. The baseball Field of Dreams thing.
Shout out if you dream it.
Dyersville.
But I haven't watched that movie in a while. But I guess technically, maybe, I don't know.
I don't know if I've ever seen it. Maybe.
Field of Dreams. There we go.
I've had to. Field of Dreams, yeah. I think that's what's so cool about, like, those elopements too, is like they're doing exactly what they want to do, exactly what you said. Because I feel like, especially now, weddings can be so tailored towards other people outside of the couple. Like, well, my mom and dad did this, so I want to do this. It's like, do you really want to do that, or do your parents want you to do that, or does grandma want you to do that? Different things like that. So I think it's like a whole new level of special and, like, romance and, like, intimacy. So
I also want to mention, you can still follow certain traditions at elopements. So, like, I'll have couples that will still do, like, a first look, or they'll, like, not see each other until their ceremony, but doesn't mean their ceremony's not until 5 o'clock. Their ceremony could be in the morning, and then they'll just get ready separate and arrive in 2 separate vehicles. Like, there's still certain things that we can do, or, like, recreating old photos of, like, parents or grandparents, but I like that it's not a stiff routine with a really tight schedule and wedding party photos, family photos, and I like how more documentary and candid, and I know, like, candid is, like, a buzzword, but it's very much more in the moment, I feel like, compared to just stuffy and strict.
Yeah.
Not that all large weddings are stuffy and strict. They just follow a normally super strict timeline that you have to stick to because you have to do all of these events, which sometimes they're cool, don't get me wrong. Like, some large weddings are really cool because they are putting on a production, but that's exactly why I left, is because I don't want to put on a production. I just want to hang out and do whatever the couple wants to do and document it for them.
Yeah, that's super cool.
If any of Jamie's couples are listening, Reed and I both want to get more elopements, so
I pimp you guys out to all of my couples. Your links are on my website. I'm trying so hard.
Our website might be for regular prices. We have elopement prices.
You can hit you can hit the Ben and Reed special if you want.
Get a free cookie by listening to this podcast episode.
We'd love to get elopements.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you guys.
I mean, I've done a couple, like the backyard, front yard weddings. Those are so fun. Like, they're so special and intimate. Yeah. Ben, do we need to cut to a break here so you can go?
I mean, you can. I can go give her meds right now.
You what?
I can go give her meds right now.
All right. So here's a word from Anchor.
Hi, I'm Anchor. No.
I heard Tim. This is one of the guys in Mastermind. He has a podcast too, and he interviewed Reed on it. But I was listening to his podcast. The way he did his advertisement. Yeah, so there's this thing like an Anchor. I mean, it's like the best way to make a podcast. And ours is like so like you got the music, you got the. It sounds like a really cheesy ad, but his was just like super like chill, like like Anchor's pretty cool. If you want to use it.
We distribute our podcast through Anchor. You should look them up. Well, anyway, welcome back and shout out Travis. Happy you're listening and watching with us, especially Travis. Anyway, we can kind of dive back into it. Where did we leave off? We talked about that elopement, that shot you go for in the day, and why elopements are important to you and why you're passionate about them, via other ways people get married. But yeah, that's all really, really, really good stuff.
I know we talked about this a little bit already with like me bringing this kid home and what to expect. But like now how old is he? 3?
Mercer, he turns 2 next month.
2. Okay, so, gosh, he's getting so big.
I know. He's huge.
What all goes into being a parent while also managing a business? You can just like touch on that.
I feel like I try really hard to always be that parent that's like, I'm not giving you advice because those people are super annoying. But if I can help a little bit, please take this with a grain of salt. I don't care if you do it. The best piece of advice that I wish I took it sooner was getting help. So I have Mercer's babysitter generally like 2 times a week. She's amazing. She is a UNI college student, so she has more energy than me. Which I still have a lot of energy, but like it is just nice because like she'll watch him for like 3 to 6 hours. Just depends if like I have her there all day or just in the morning, and then like occasional date nights. She's amazing. I love her because my mom is great on weekends and stuff, so like Saturday weddings, but just having someone to take the extra edge off during the week so I can get work done during the day, because when I first was doing full-time stay-at-home mom, full-time work life, I was trying to work and watch him at the same time, and I was basically half-assing work and half-assing momming, and it's just, like, I can get so much done in a 3-hour block where I don't have to mom, where I can just work, and I usually go to Cup of Joe, and I just sit there for 3 hours and get my entire to-do list done. Okay, I either go to Cup of Joe or Starbucks. I go to Starbucks if I need really fast internet, because sometimes Cup of Joe's internet kicks me out after like an hour, which is fine. I totally get it because it's like a guest network. But Starbucks internet doesn't kick me out. So like when I need to upload stuff, I usually go to sit at Starbucks. I do have, like, we just started converting our 3rd bedroom into more of like an office. So like a couple times I'll like hide in there while she plays with Mercer downstairs. But seriously, having a babysitter, a reliable babysitter, is everything. Like, I can feel like me again. Like, I can get, like...
That makes sense.
Because nap time, sometimes I get work done during nap time, but half the time I sit and scroll and zone out because I need to. Because if I don't take time for me, I'm a shitty mom and I'm a shitty business owner. Because I feel like I get touched out and I get really overstimulated. And so sometimes I will actually wear my headphones around the house with Mercer because it helps me not get so overstimulated. And then I can listen to a podcast. But like I'll have, I have the AirPod Pro, so I'll have it on transparency mode. But like I can still hear him and I'm watching him, but I can have like some sort of podcast so that it's not... I don't know, like, it's a little bit of a mix of everything, but seriously, babysitter. It's amazing. It's really hard at first, but then like knowing that you have 3 hours to yourself is amazing.
Do you use anything to avoid wasting those 3 hours? Like, are you ever like, okay, I need to, like for me, I feel like I get the most work done when I actually utilize the focus modes on iPhone. Like I have one set to me only getting notifications from Lauren and my like immediate family, like if there's like an emergency or something, but it essentially blocks out every other notification unless, let's say, Reed FaceTimes me. I think if you FaceTime somebody, it'll go, like I won't get a notification, but if he FaceTimes me again, so Reed, don't use that to your advantage.
Yeah,
Then
you can
I'll
turn
get
that
it. Then I'll
off
get a
if you
call.
want. The double
Oh, you can
tap.
make it so it goes to 0. Like you. Oh, okay.
Yes, or
I think
I probably shouldn't call it a double tap feature, but like it's like a double call back to back.
Yeah, that makes
If you have a favorite contact, like if they're in your phone as a favorite,
Yeah.
it'll go through if they call 2 times in a row.
Yeah, I think
I shouldn't
that's the
call
way
it a
that I
double
have
tap, but
Double tap feature. Yeah.
I think all my pinned contacts, I think if they call me and then they call me again, it will come through. I'm pretty
that's
sure.
hilarious
So that-
though.
that
Then
might-
because
that-
I have the same focus feature where only Mark can come through. So I do
makes
set my
sense.
focus features. It's focused right now. Shout out.
Yeah,
Apple.
mine too,
same.
because I don't get dings and stuff on the computer.
Yep. Same.
I'm sorry, Reed. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. You're good. I don't have anyone that maybe my mom can just call me.
You have us, Reed.
I'll let my mom call me if my phone's on focus mode.
Those things I feel like. But yeah, is there anything that you do? Like that's what I feel like I do currently to really make sure I'm not getting distracted.
I feel
Is there
like,
anything that you do?
and everybody does it differently when it comes to being a parent and a business owner. But what I do, like every single day, like Mercer and me, honestly, we thrive on routine. So like Mark works for Cedar Falls Schools. He does their IT. So he leaves the house around 7:15ish. But me and Mercer normally don't get up until like 8 o'clock, which technically I'm awake. But one thing that works for me is I try to work out like once a week. I set the bar real low because I have other shit that I care about. I do not prioritize working out as much as I should anymore, but that's fine. So like for me, I'll try to wake up before Mercer, but we usually start our day at like 8, and then it's breakfast, cartoons, random house chores. Like the morning I try to fill it with as much activities, like whether he helps me with chores, helps me with dishes. He's really into cooking right now, so
That's fine.
like I try to have him help me do household stuff, and like if it's nice then we'll just play outside all day long. But then like once Mark gets home from work, I try to shift into work mode. During nap time, it's either a hit or a miss. I'll either do work or I'll just hang out and take a me break and take a nap, because you need to do those things too.
Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
like I tried to do both at the same time and it didn't work. So I feel like trying to schedule, I schedule my days out and I do little to-do lists every single day. So like every day I'll be like, okay, I want to get accomplished these 3 to 5 things, and then I get a really big dopamine hit when I check them off.
I
So
should
like
do that.
that's like my thing that I do every single day is writing really small to-do lists. Like it cannot be more than 5 things on it. It just has to be small that I can actually accomplish that day. And
Are these mental to-do lists? Or are
no,
these, like,
I legit
physical?
like write these down on. I'm a post-it note
Anything?
freak. So
Post-it
like I
note?
have like my post-it note on my coffee bar, and it's like, okay, today I want to accomplish the dishes, vacuuming, and laundry, and like those will just be my 3 things for the day. And as long as I got those 3 things done, I did enough today. So I don't try
That's
to
good. I should try
overbook.
that.
Yeah, I used to try and be like beat myself up because I was like, oh, I didn't get this done, I didn't get that done, and it's like, okay, well, I actually did all of these other things, and that still counts. Like I don't have to overwork myself every single day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
At least
I think
that's
that's
my
important.
balance.
I think that's so important too, though. Like knowing that you don't have to get like sometimes it does feel like laundry and that housework is humongous things, but it's like for us, it's like we don't need to get a film done in a day for it to be a productive day, right? Mm-hmm. It's important to remember that little stuff, that stuff that just keeps things rolling, keeps things moving, is just as important on your to-do list as delivering a gallery or whatever, So. That's a good point.
I try to time block, so like I'll do certain things where it's like, okay, I'm not a consistent time blocker, so don't take my word for it, but it's more so I try to so today I said I was going to be on Ben and Reed's podcast, and then I was going to answer emails, and I have emails and a couple proposals that I have to send back out, because that's just how I do weddings, is I send proposals. So it's getting back to those. Mm-hmm. Those were my 3 things today, is podcast, emails, proposals, and also pack for Mexico, which I did. So
oh, nice.
Yeah, Jamie, she was telling me over the break she's leaving for Mexico tomorrow at 6 a.m. in Des Moines.
Not coming back.
Not coming back. I'm getting sold. I'm going to the cartel. Probably shouldn't say that.
There's a show on Apple TV Plus. It's called, oh my gosh, I can't even remember. Anyway, it's about this family that they're living off the grid, and they go to Mexico, and then they have this whole thing with the. No, I don't know.
That's
I don't know what it's called. It's coastal something. I don't know if you guys have Apple TV.
I have Apple TV Plus. Hang on.
I think it's called.
I just wanted to use my
keyboard.
Yeah. There's Causeway. Let's see here. What do we got? Most popular: Ted Lasso, Truth Be Told, Morning Show.
Shout out Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso is actually pretty funny.
It's a great show.
We just actually finished watching The Servant. Actually, we didn't finish it. We're almost done with it.
Anyway, I'm distracted now. Going back.
Well, now I want to know what the show is called and why it's not on the top. Oh, it's called The Mosquito Coast.
Oh.
Essentially, this family's living off the grid. There's 2 seasons.
Okay.
And the U.S. government wants to get them, and so they escape to Mexico, and they deal with the cartel. And it is it's an incredibly intense show. There's times where you're oh no, this is game over.
I wish Mark was coming with me, but his passport is expired, so unfortunately he cannot.
He can use mine if he needs it.
Yeah, you guys kind of look alike. It's fine. Our names don't match, but that's fine.
Date of birth, names don't match, but sort of look.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep moving down this, because we're already at an hour. We haven't even started talking about the iPhone course yet.
Oh my god.
Are we surprised?
It's fine. We're getting better at podcasting every podcast we do. I've never done a podcast before. Who am I kidding?
We do get better as we talk, yeah. All right.
I hope so.
I'm just going to jump to this 5th question. How do you stay creative?
Okay, so lately I have been completely obsessed with the app Freeform that just came out with the latest Apple iOS update. So
I downloaded that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have played with it.
I told Reed about it, but you probably didn't do anything with it.
Hang on. So
what'd you tell me about it?
It's this one right here.
You can use it. It's a cross-platform device for note-taking and
It's legit my
scribbling.
giant. Hang on, let it load.
Oh, you did. You did tell me about that. Yeah.
So it's I use it as a mood board. So
cool. What kind of screen protector do you have on there?
It's cracked. So.
Oh, okay.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay. It's a mess. I don't.
So
know
you use Freeform.
But yeah, anyway, so the way I stay creative right now, honestly, my obsession right now is Freeform. It's I make mood boards on it. Obviously I'm a photographer. I'm a super visual person. So for me, it helps to brain dump everything. And it's a giant whiteboard. So I can draw, I can color, I can import pictures, there's Post-it notes. I'm obsessed with Post-it notes. And there's different fonts. And it's just it's my giant dump, like whiteboard dump. It's like it's how I've mapped out like my courses that I'm making right now. It's how I've done, like, I made my 2023 mood board, like my vision board, what I want to accomplish this year for like goals. And I also just used it to like make, so I'm the book I'm reading right now is Financial Feminist by Tori Dunlap. And one of her questions is, what is your rich life? Like, what, like, people are like, oh, if I had money, I'd do whatever I want. And she's just like, okay, so what is that? And most people don't know. So it's like legit actually visioning out what my rich life looks like. So I made like that mood board, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. Because like, if I can see it and I can look at it constantly, I can be like, this is the goal I am working towards. This is what I want. So that's like my creative jam right now is Freeform. It is the app that I've always wanted.
That's cool. I need to go download it right now before I forget.
I've gotten another photographer hooked on it because she's like, why would I download it? And then like I shared my mood board or like my 2023 vision board on Instagram, and she's like, okay, I'll try it. And then she's like, oh, okay, this is a lot of fun. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
I feel like it's almost like ChatGPT. Like, you don't really know how to use it until you're like...
Everyone that I know is talking
limited.
about ChatGPT.
I use it pretty regularly.
Yeah, I use it a decent amount as well. Especially when I need to write just a little more of a professional email that I'm not used to sending. That's when I hop on that thing.
This whole podcast actually was ChatGPT. We were just like...
Yeah, these are just...
We're reading from a script. We're going from a script.
It's fine.
We typed in, write us a podcast script, and that's what we got so far. So, I
like that Freeform.
I see.
I like that.
Yeah,
I'm actually gonna mess around with it after this just to see what it's like.
It's kind of I find it addicting. I have like 20 open boards right now, so
I like
also
the cross-platform
capability. So yeah, like you can have I have it open on my iMac right now. I can have it on my phone. It's on my iPad. I can share it with Mark, and like we can contribute on the board in real time. So
that's huge. That's a cool thing.
The only thing that I've noticed anyway, that I'm sure will come with an update with Apple, is I can't use the drawing feature on my iMac. Like I have to like draw on my phone and then it will appear on my iMac.
Then it'll show up.
But I'm sure like they'll eventually do a patch like because I have my Wacom tablet, so like I feel like eventually you'll be able to draw on the iMac, but
I miss having a Wacom?
Wacom.
I used to call it a Wacom, but I used to have one when I was a graphic designer for a company. I miss having that so much.
This is my Wacom tablet from college.
It was one of my favorite things of all time. Do you know what it is, Ben? Have you ever used one?
It's probably a pen and like a thing that you draw on.
So it's this thing.
Well, it's
and then like
then you just use a.
This is how I edit. This is how I retouch. So like
that's cool. That would be really cool.
And this is legit my tablet from college. So it is old. It is like 11 years old.
A person that I used to work with, they actually edited videos with a Wacom tablet. I'm like, I don't know how you do that, but whatever. Each their own. So anyway, what we're really here to learn about and to talk about. We want to know about the iPhone photography course. We've seen a lot of stuff pushed out for that. And what gave you, first of all, what is it? Mm-hmm. And secondly, what gave you the idea to start this course? That's the question.
Okay, so my iPhone course, the name of it is Take Your Shot. And it came about from when I was pregnant with Mercer. So 2020, all of us had nothing better to do because it was 2020, so weddings were canceled. I was virtually unemployed, and I never really cared for phone photos really prior to 2020. I had just gotten my iPhone 12, and I upgraded from the 7. So the 6 and the 7s were when they first introduced the dual camera, the telephotos. They started getting crazy with the iPhone camera. And I was like, the 7 was kind of fun, but portrait mode seriously sucks on the 7. But once we got to the XR, iPhone 10, and then the 11s, and then 12 came out, I was like, okay, it's actually getting pretty good. The AIs and phones and everything, but I was getting frustrated because every time I would hand someone my phone, the photo was shit. And I was like, do any of you people know how to take a photo with your phone? You are on this thing. It even tells you 8 to 10 hours a day. Or for me, it's consumption is down 6% for only 7 hours a day. Anyway.
Oh, look at that. Let's go.
Congrats. Let's go.
Thanks, iPhone, for letting me know that I still am on you too much. But anyway, so, like, I would get so frustrated because, like, I can vividly remember when we went to the Badlands, we gave my phone, like, hey, can you take a picture of us? And we were in front of Mount Rushmore. Literally, they did, like, the crop. Like, Mount Rushmore's not even in the photo. And I was just like, okay, thanks. And it's fine,
Good.
like, no big deal. But, like, also, like, I've always done self-portraits. If you were to look on my server rack through all of my years, there is years of self-portraits. So it's like I started trying to figure out how to get the same sort of photos that I would want with my big camera, but I was too lazy to go get my big camera, so I wanted to learn how to do all of this stuff on my phone and try to make it look as good as possible. And then once I started doing that, people were like, wait, you took that with your phone? It's like, yeah, it's super easy. And I was like, oh, wait. No, it's not. Like, I had to, like, learn all of this, so I forgot what I know that I didn't know. Like, so I was like, I'm going to make a course, and I want to teach people how to actually use their phone, like the device that they are on all the time, because Apple, shout out, Apple's way better than Android. No, I'm a dual house. Okay, I have PCs and
Travis
Apple.
is probably an Android user.
He probably is an Android user. No wonder we don't work weddings together. I can't work weddings with non-Apple.
You asked our couple, can you ask your photographer if they're an Android or Apple user?
I'm going to put it on my contact form. Do you have an iPhone?
Before I sign this contract back for you, what kind of phone do you use?
I started rambling. But that's where the iPhone course came from, was 2020. I was pregnant with Mercer, and I wanted to start, honestly, I wanted to just teach my mom how to take better photos. And selfishly, I knew every photo, like, I just knew, like, I would not be in any photos of me and Mercer if I did not show these people how to take a picture with their phone. Because for the most part, like, it's a common thing, like, oh, there's no pictures of me and mom growing up because mom's always taking the photo. So it's like, I wanted to teach moms how to, one, just get in the photo with their phone. So my course has, like, 3 different hacks that I use all the time to, like, actually, like, every photo you see of me and Mercer, I took on my phone, and I took it myself. Because me and Mercer are home alone all day. I shouldn't say that publicly. Me and Mercer are together all the time. But, like, I don't have someone else to take me and Mercer's photo, so I had to do it myself.
It makes sense.
And I wanted pictures with Mercer, and I wanted other moms to be in pictures of their kids if they are also stay-at-home moms and they don't have someone else to ask. Because for the most part, it's usually just dads. Because moms are always taking the photos. So I was like, hashtag proof of mom.
No, I understand that feeling, because I feel like I'm the one that's always, like, taking the videos or photos at, like, family events.
Yeah, I feel like wedding photographers of the family, I feel like they can relate no matter what. Because it's like, hey, can you bring your camera? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't want to work. I'm good.
Yeah.
No, I get that feeling. That's definitely something I've been thinking about with, like, this kid coming. I'm like, so we're going to have the C-section, and I, like, don't want to be thinking about having to take photos and stuff. But I'm also in my head, I'm like, God, whoever's taking photos are going to suck.
The nurse, so I was knocked out. The nurse took, I think, like, 3 photos in the OR. So, like, Mark has one holding Mercer. They legit, like, ushered Mark out of there ASAP because of everything that happened to me. So, like, because they were, like, knocking me out because I kept trying to get off the table. It was bad. And then, like, Mercer, like, he didn't, like, breathe right away. So, like, it was, like, and the nurse is like, nope, he's fine, let's go. So like the nurse is distracting Mark is obviously in a totally different headspace. So we have like 3 photos, and then Mark legit waited, I think like 4 hours, because I met Mercer when he was like right around 5 hours old. So yeah, it is a totally
Were the
different
photos
world.
okay? The
No.
3 photos, were they
They're
were all bad?
They're really bad. Like, hang on.
Good.
They're really bad.
I'll come along and I'll snap some photos for you.
If you can, a birth photographer is amazing, but I know every hospital is different, especially with C-sections.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't. Can you?
I ended up not, like, we had a birth photographer, and I ended up not calling her, because I was just in so much pain. I had been in labor for 3 days, and I just, I did not want anyone to see me in the state of mind that I was in, so I ended up not calling her. And, like, part of me does regret that, but at the same time, I wouldn't have any photos with Mercer. So I'm like, she wouldn't have been allowed in the room, so I'm like, it's fine. I'm almost to 2020. Just so you know, once you have a kid, your phone, I have like 10,000 photos of Mercer on here.
Yeah, that's another thing I've been thinking about. Like, I'm gonna have so much
Probably you and your
content.
cats.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but I am like high as shit.
Okay.
I don't even remember that. Like,
So that was
all.
one of the photos?
That's one of them, and then this was the one they got of Mark in the OR.
Okay.
So like the one of Mark is fine. The one of me.
See, like,
is-
I'd love if I could just be like, yo, can you just, like, take pictures of these, like, awesome moments? Like, maybe I'm, like, comforting Lauren, or, like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be just the formal ones of me looking at the camera. Like, I'd love if they just snap some, like,
Sometimes if you
photos
get
of
an
us.
awesome nurse, she's got you. It just kind of depends.
that's what I'm hoping for, yeah.
Can you just do some headshots of me real quick?
Yeah, it'd be great.
Lauren's, like, not even in the photo. I'm like...
I'm hoping since Lawrence is like a
just
scheduled
you.
C-section, it'll be better than what mine was, since mine was like an emergency C-section.
Yeah, I think it'll be definitely a little more.
Because everyone
planned
tells
out,
me
like-
how when it's planned and scheduled, it is totally different than when it's an emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
cool.
I have nothing to compare that to. Anyway, what's inside the iPhone course? Okay, so going back to that question, what is inside the iPhone course? No.
Who made it? Yeah, well,
I have no idea.
So I recorded the whole thing with my phone. I wanted it to be like shot on iPhone, like super cheesy.
Okay.
That's really cool.
But, like,
that's really cool.
I recorded myself on my phone, and I also like used my phone to like demonstrate, so where I did screen recordings. And I also used Mark's phone and my iPad. So literally everything was recorded on Apple.
Oh, that's cool.
So if I demonstrate different lighting patterns. So like I show people, like, if you're inside, like how if you rotate with different light, you're gonna get better lighting. So I actually talk about a lot of the fundamentals of photography, but tried to make it super simple for just everyday people to understand, because if you're taking an iPhone course, you may not want to be a full-fledged photographer, but you want to learn how to use your camera on your phone. So it's like, it's super simple, basic lighting, posing, and then I also do like walkthroughs of like how to get in your shot, and it's like a behind the scenes, like, this is legit how to do the setting, and then I do a screen recording in a recording of me editing and then walking through different settings in Lightroom and just showing people the different tools and the different aspects of your iPhone camera between portrait mode, camera mode, video, cinematic mode. And like, granted, every iPhone is a little bit different. They don't all like, so like I have the 14, like the Pro, so I have the 3 cameras, but half of my photos that I took was on my 12, which only had the 2 cameras. So it's like, you can get good photos on any of the iPhones. You just gotta learn the basics: lighting, posing, angles.
Oh, I get that. Now, for the editing side of it, do you do anything with, like, teaching people how to edit not in Lightroom?
Yeah, so I have Lightroom in there and the Photos app, because the Photos app is free. And legit, I have different screen recordings of me doing everything on my phone. So if you want to edit and share from your phone, so if you want to use photos in your phone, there's that. But I also have a tutorial if you want to take your editing further. If you edit it on the Photos app on your computer, you actually have more tools. You can use the retouching tool on your computer. They don't have that tool on your phone. And then Lightroom, it's like slightly different between your phone and your computer, but it's basically all the same tools. But I show like two different, like, so if you want to Photoshop something out, it's easier to do it on your computer than it is sitting on your phone. But that's if you have both kind of thing. You don't need both, but I'm going to show you how to do both.
So do you use iCloud Photos?
No.
So
I mean, like,
let's say
I
you
have I have it back up to iCloud, and like I have the Photos app, but I edit all of my iPhone photos in Lightroom.
Okay, so for someone that maybe like I don't have iCloud, if they take a photo on their phone, would there be a way for them to get it on their computer to edit it? I guess they could just, AirDrop it or whatever.
So I talk about if like they're an Apple family, they can just open the Photos app or they can AirDrop it. Otherwise, like if they're not in the Apple family, if they have like a PC computer, Google Drive, Dropbox, there's different ways you can email it to yourself. But shout out to being in the Apple ecosystem, makes everything easy. But for the most part, I feel like the people taking the iPhone course, because it is so dedicated to iPhones, it's more geared towards Apple gearheads in a way. So it's like if you have an iPhone, chances are you also have other iPhone products. I used to work for Apple, but it's like for the most part, if you have one device of Apple, you don't just have one, you have multiple Apple products.
Yeah. No, seriously. Yeah,
So,
I have like 6
AirPods, Apple Watch.
I have AirPods, I have my watch, I'm on an iMac.
MacBook.
I just bought another Mac, but I am so far
shout
up
out
the
Travis.
Apple. Oh my god. Anyway. But that's kind of like a general
that's
overview
really cool.
of like what's inside of it. Like it's super digestible. They're all short videos. I think the longest video in there is 15 minutes long. So they're super quick videos that you can come back and watch multiple times. And I try to just make it simple and to the point because I'm not a fluff person. I just want to know the content and I want to watch it on 2x.
No, that's really cool.
Yeah, I think it's also super cool because, like you said, obviously we know what a good photo is supposed to look like or a good video, composition-wise, angles, all that stuff. But a lot of people don't learn that. And I think, like, for us at least, and I know Ben's the same way, and I'm sure you are, like, it's so important to, like, capture those memories from your life. Like, having your kid and all the moments you share and, like, how important that is to have a good photo for you to look back on years down the road, right? Like hopefully you don't start losing your memory and stuff like that when you're older, but if you do, like those photos can take you right back to that spot, and having them be clear and like professional photos is just, I don't know, it's a genius idea.
Well,
so
and it's been really cool. Like the students that are in the iPhone course right now, they've legit like messaged me and they're like, "Look at this photo I took," and it's like different photos they've taken
That's
of like
super
their
exciting.
kids, and it makes me feel good because I'm like, I'm happy that you like are feeling good about taking photos on your phone. Like it make like, yes, I'm a professional photographer, but you use your phone every single day. Like, just take your shot. Like, which is why, like, that's why I named it what I did. Because, like, I struggled so hard trying to think of, like, what to name it. And I was just like, I just want people to get in their shot. I just want them to take it. Like, just try. And it's so cool seeing, like, my students, like, message me now. Or, like, they'll ask me for help. Or they'll be like, "I'm sorry if this is a stupid question." I'm like, no, stop right there. Do not beat yourself up. It is not a stupid question. Like, you don't know what you don't know. You're learning, and you're doing the thing by asking. You're fine. I'm really enjoying my students lately.
That's
I
awesome.
like that.
Is it like a year-long thing? Does it open occasionally, like when you're doing this, or like you said a lot of it's pre-recorded? What does that look like on a community side of things,
So
or is there?
I use Kajabi for my online courses. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Kajabi, but it's online video hosting for courses, and so all of my courses, like I pre-record them, I upload them, and then once you're in forever. And if I ever choose to like switch platforms, then I'll just make it downloadable. But I really like Kajabi. It's really convenient, and they've done some updates, so it's exciting. But then like I can put all of like certain people that have bought a certain course, and I have them in like a community space. So if they want to talk to each other, or reach out for help, but I can see where I can monitor where they're at in the course. I can see when like they log in and stuff, like if they get stuck on something, I can see what they were working on, kind of thing. So it's kind of like a really cool for teacher point of view, because I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
No, I like that. I think I put my email in there just to see what the process was like for the course.
Oh, I saw.
And the emails that you like to send out, one of them that stuck out to me was like I think you gave away a couple tips
Oh,
for
yes. Yes, I did.
for the thing. And one of the tips that stood out to me that I really liked was rather than taking a photo, you hit record on video.
Mm-hmm. I mentioned
then,
video in my course.
And then you just you wait until you can get that moment, and then you can screenshot it later, which is
so
really cool.
One of my things that I legit talk about is putting your phone, if your phone has it, put it in cinematic mode, 4K, and legit just record. One, you're going to get short form video, which is amazing to have. So right now, sidebar, Mark's mom is uploading all of these old videos, and Mark is digitizing them and sort of thing, and putting them, backing them up for his mom. But it is so adorable seeing Mark as a baby, and these 90s VHSs. I swear to God, it's like looking at Mercer. They look
Really?
anyway. But so when I tell people legit put your phone in video mode, because you are gonna want these videos, you're gonna want this audio, and then you can easily make a photo out of it, because iPhone just makes it super simple. If you just slow your motion down, pause that moment, screen record, boom, you have a photo.
Yeah.
But you also have the video.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome advice.
When you do that, do you put your
Very
video in vertical, or do you put it horizontal?
I do both.
Both?
I have I have a mix of both. It just kind of depends what I'm looking for. If I want something for a TikTok or a reel, then I'll for sure do it vertically. But if I just want a certain kind of photo, and if I want it landscape, then I'll do it landscape. I don't really have a preference of one or the other. It just kind of depends what I want it for, if that makes sense.
Do you have a quick tripod that you use, or are you all about just quickly throwing it against something? Okay, GorillaPod.
GorillaPod.
That's good.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I have my GorillaPod
Those things are
with
nice.
my phone attachment, and this is actually the same phone attachment that I can put on my hot shoe on my camera. So if
That's
I wanted
cool.
to record content at a session, but GorillaPod saves lives.
Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
also have another mini
I've
tripod,
got a
but I
couple
don't
of
know
those.
where it is.
Yeah, you don't have to rummage through it to find it. No, that's awesome. That's good stuff. That's exciting course. Is that your first course you've ever launched? And you've left some hints about maybe some other things that you're working on in the near future?
So the iPhone course is actually my second course. My first course I ever created was my camera basics one, and that is legit intro to photography, DSLRs, mirrorless cameras, intro to speed lights, lighting, everything intro to photography. So it is super basic and definitely geared towards newer photographers. I'm super passionate about helping new photographers, because it is a scary place to be when you feel like you don't know enough. And I wish that I had more of that big sister when I was super new to the industry, because I made a shit ton of mistakes when I was super new. So I want the other I'm in the process of making other courses right now. I have 3 in my head. I know I've talked to Ben about one of them. But the one that's probably coming out sooner rather than later is my editing course. And I am legit, it's going to be super intense, but I'm going to break down every single tool in Lightroom and like I want people to actually learn how to edit without a preset. Granted,
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
love my presets, like, and I thought about just releasing presets this month, but at the same time, presets don't do shit if you don't know what they're doing. So, like,
Yeah.
if you apply a preset in hopes that your work is going to look like mine, it's not going to look like mine because you have to understand how we got there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you have to understand everything that it took to get to add the preset.
And I have so much fun making presets. I actually have a lot made right now, but then I was like, I can't just release presets without something to show new photographers. Because, like, every time I've sat down for a mentor session, I have started here and realized I need to backtrack because they're not here yet. They're way down here. So I'm like, okay, I gotta back it up because they're where I thought this was where they were at the beginning. We have to go way further back still, which is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with being like super new. I was like, okay, I'm gonna turn my presets from just a preset launch into a full editing course that shows every single tool in Lightroom, what it's doing, ways to get certain edits. So if you like more of a light and airy edit, if you like more of a moody edit, I want to show you how to achieve both.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it's obvious. It's very obvious you're very passionate about education.
Oh, it's fun.
What's like the 5-10 year plan? Like, do you think maybe we'll even step back from more and more photos and focus more on education, or do you think you like this happy medium with doing both? I'm just kind of curious.
Well, how much of my
'cause you
10-year
mentioned
plan do
stuff
you
about your
want?
goals.
Because I legit have a very detailed 10-year plan.
Well, I mean, whatever you got for us, but more so like, I would like to get to the point in my career where I'm only shooting like 5 weddings a year and then focusing on other things that I'm passionate about. I'm curious, is that kind of where you're heading to? I know you don't do too many weddings a year because you're traveling for all of them and doing elopements and stuff, but
So that's
is,
kind of where I'm at right
education the
now.
end goal?
Because so like where I'm at right now, I don't need to do 20 to 30 weddings anymore, which sometimes makes me sad because I'm like, wow, I already overbooked myself for this year. I said, nope, this was my limit. And I couldn't say no.
Went over. Yeah, me too.
Whoops.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ben did that too.
And which is fine. I'm only over by 1 right now, so it's not dire.
Awful. Yeah, that's not bad.
But this year's goal and next year's goal is 10 weddings max. I also have 2 dance studios, which dance studios are kind of like my passion project. I love photographing. That's what got me banned from Facebook for a month, was saying shooting.
Oh, good.
But like doing the dance studios is a lot of fun. It's a different sort of creative because it is like a photo day, like school picture day, but it's still creative because like the little dancers are so cute, and then like the older dancers are just so freaking talented. I'm like, this is just fun to capture. I'm a terrible dancer, but I love photographing dancers. I don't know. That has turned into a passion project. So I do 2 dance studios a year, 10 weddings / elopements, whatever they are. And then I have my education, so my courses and coaching. And that's like my year. And that's still a little too busy. And like where I see myself, like I have another business that I want to start, and so that's what we are saving towards right now, is starting another business. So I hesitate saying it, but like my goal is probably to exit the wedding world in 7 to 10 years. I turned 30 this year, so I'm thinking about it long term. By the time I hit 40, when it comes to the wedding world, I would rather just be in the education space and maybe shooting 3 to 5 weddings a year by that point. Yeah. And I don't want a full wedding workload, because in 10 years, Mercer's going to be 12. He might be in sports. We might have other obligations. Yeah. So I'm actually planning my exit from the wedding world, but it's not, I feel like you have to. It's just like with any other job. I'm planning my retirement, which is weird to think about. But my other business that I want to start will be my transition in a way.
Yeah,
I like that.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, we love hearing about goals and plans and future aspirations and stuff. So
I have a lot of fun
very cool.
with goals. Like, I legit have very detailed 10-year plan, and it's fun to see what I accomplish and what I don't. And, like, I try to write my goals, like, as much as I can. Daily, weekly. I try to look at my mood board all the time, and it has helped a lot. I still can't believe everything I accomplished last year.
I think I need to set smaller goals. I think I tend to, like, I write down really ambitious goals and then just, like, hope for an outcome.
See, I feel like the opposite. I write down obnoxious goals. I don't write down, like, I write down small goals, but, like, I write down unrealistic and obnoxious and huge goals.
Yeah.
And then when I hit them, I was like, okay, apparently I didn't dream big enough.
That's a good way to look at it. I think I don't see how to get to that goal. I just kind of hope that I'm on the right path. Mm-hmm. But
awesome. Well, usually how since you've listened to these, you know how we kind of end these. We like to talk a little bit about what's inspired us recently. For our guests, it really doesn't have to be recently. For us, it is just because we're doing this more consistently, obviously. But so you can, yeah. Third podcast this month. Let's go. With a couple test podcasts in there too that didn't see the light of day.
They might eventually.
Maybe, yeah.
Just like Taylor Swift's unreleased album between.
Yeah, there'll be the
Reputation.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theorist.
But yeah, we like to end the show. It's weird calling it a show. We like to end a podcast by just chatting a little bit about what inspires us. Obviously, our goal is to bring on people that are inspiring, and I think you are just that with your course and all the stuff you're doing. So whoever wants to go first, I haven't thought about this. I haven't thought this far ahead. Well, I actually know what I want to say, but I'll go last.
Whoever wants to go first, I don't know, but I do know, but I'm just going to go last. Okay. I'm out.
What just happened? Like,
welcome back to Reed's Super Short Show.
Okay.
I don't know where that came from.
Go.
I can also go first. It doesn't matter.
I'll go. Mine's more
You
serious.
go.
Okay. Is it a washcloth
inspiring. Question? No, sadly it's not like drapes or anything. It's not like a water bottle lid or something.
I think we've grown up a little bit in this podcast.
It's coming back. Don't worry. It's coming back.
It's coming back stronger and more detailed.
For me, what's inspired me recently is this approach that I'm having as me and Lauren are coming to the end of this, like, not even an end, but like I don't know, it's a weird feeling. Like, we're approaching this transition point in our relationship where we're like, not necessarily saying goodbye, but like, we've known only of us two for the last 15 years. And so we're kind of saying goodbye to that, like, alone time between just us two. Not necessarily, I mean, we'll occasionally still have that, but like, we now have this other responsibility that we can't just not think about. Like, it's easy to just turn on the TV and watch TV and not think about anything else. And for me, now realizing I have this other thing that I have to think about, I'm thinking about all this stuff like, oh my gosh, what kind of habits am I going to be, like, teaching this kid? What kind of... And so, like, it's kind of forced me to be like, I really got to get my shit together. Like, I gotta learn better habits. I gotta, I don't know, get better... Just be better about things. So, like, I feel like lately I've been much better about, like, you know what? I'm not going to leave the dishes for tomorrow. I'm going to do them tonight. I'm going to, like, do all these things to hopefully make my load easier in the future.
Who the fuck closed last night?
Yeah, exactly.
And
so, yeah, I think this transition period for me, I'm extremely excited, extremely nervous, but it's kind of inspired me just to continue to better myself. Not only for myself, but for my future child. And the legacy that I'm going to be leaving behind. If that makes sense.
No, it does, because I've been there, and I'm really curious to, like, see you 2 years from now, because I mean, Mercer turns 2, I don't even know who the fuck that person, like, those people were 2 years ago. Like, it's interesting because it's like, okay, you were, like, in a spot that me and Mark were 2 years ago. And it's crazy. And, like, the first, it just gives me all the feels because it's like, yep, I've been there. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think it's a bittersweet feeling because I feel like I'm also saying goodbye to myself, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I'm a completely different person now.
I'm like getting ready to transition into this new like role, and I'm like, that's not gonna be me anymore.
But it's fun. It's
yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited. So yeah, that's what mine is. It's probably too deep for this, but
it's really deep compared to what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
That's just me, just because I'm like in this literally the final week of like this, and so I'm like taking in every ounce that I can.
It is fun to see too, because like I'm obviously not at that time of my life, but like seeing you, Ben, and obviously Jamie too. I don't know, go through that, and I don't know. It's cool and it's kind of inspiring. I'm not going to say that's my inspiring thing, but
I'm inspired by Ben's inspiration.
What you said was very inspiring, very touching, and very deep. So good job there.
You know, I thought
who knows, this might be the last podcast too without Ben being officially a father.
That's true.
That is true.
Maybe it depends. We might crank one out. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's just going to be the Reed show after that.
Reed show. What was that? Mike's Super Short Show? I didn't have Disney we didn't have cable growing up, so was it Mike's?
Yeah, we didn't either.
I think it was, I don't know. But the Super Short Show.
I don't know. It's like stuck in my head right now for some reason. What's inspired me lately?
Here, I'll go, and then Jamie can go last.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So mine's pretty simple, and it's not as deep as what Ben said about saying goodbye to his old self and hello to his new dad self. But I was just in California with a bunch of other wedding filmmakers, like 980 plus of them, and just getting to hang out and connect with people from all over the world, and kind of hear their story and like see that we all go through the same struggles, the same successes. It was very, very inspiring to like finally connect with those people in person and build those relationships and those friendships. And I don't know, that's mine. Super simple, just building relationships with people. But yeah.
No, I saw it. Like I looked at the photos and stuff, and I was like, I got so much FOMO. I've never had FOMO like I did when I was looking through the photos. I was just like, oh my gosh.
We were thinking about you the whole time, man.
See, I feel like if we would have done this show next week, I would have told you guys Mexico, because I legit leave for Mexico in 12 hours. But because it's my first international trip, so I guess it's kind of inspiring, because first international trip, which is hilarious, because I've been to 49 out of 50 states, and I have yet to leave the country. But I will be to all 50 states in August, so it's fine.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That's awesome,
one of my goals was all 50 states before 30, so bam.
That would be really cool. Alaska would be incredible.
What's the last state?
Alaska.
What's the last state out of curiosity?
Alaska. Yeah.
Oh, I want to go to Alaska so bad.
I am so excited. But I guess the other thing, which this is going to sound super cheesy, but the movie The Intern, which came out in like 2015, 2016.
It sounds familiar.
Anne Hathaway and the really adorable old guy. Oh my god. Can't think of his name. But it's the movie called The Intern, and it is literally my inspiration movie. Like, when I'm having a shit moment, I love that movie because, like, she's a badass CEO, created her own company, her husband's a stay-at-home dad, and I'm like, that's my life. That's what I want. I don't know. It's kind of cheesy, but I get a lot of inspiration for, like, my work and everything from films and movies. So movies just inspire me. It's been my whole life. I started my career because I love movies. Like, if I wasn't a photographer, I would want to work in, like, directing, like, movie sets.
Seriously. No, that's so cool.
It's good. That's a good one.
I mean, I still could. You can do whatever you want in life. So if I really want to go to Hollywood, and I could.
So So looking
for
at
it.
your inspirations, what do you anticipate your like next inspiration is going to be? Like, okay, you crossed that off your list, Mexico. It's international. What's your next, or Reed? Now that you got this inspiration, what's your like next? What's your next thing that you're going for once you can, I don't know, utilize the inspiration that you've gotten? I was asking that question, and then as I asked it, I'm like, wait, I don't know what I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm totally grasping the question, but
Are you asking like a goal
I'll
or
try. Like
now that you've achieved
Yeah,
this?
so
I guess,
like
yeah.
for Jamie,
because
you've
I'm
achieved this international. So then once you achieve that, what's your like next goal? Or Reed, how do you plan to utilize this inspiration?
Mine would be, because I was able to connect with those people, would be one. The first one would be to stay connected, because obviously none of those people I met live even remotely close. I think the closest one is Minneapolis or Kansas. But one, to just stay connected and continue those relationships, but also to branch out and build more of those kind of relationships. Maybe not through like a retreat, maybe through like a social media buddy or something, like anything. I don't know. Is that kind of what, I don't know. Does that answer the question you were sort of answering?
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah.
Figuring out a way to use that network to continue to grow.
I mean, for me,
continue that
with
network
Mexico, like what? Because Mexico's a retreat, and it's all about passive income. So it's like
so that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's not like a wedding or something.
No, it's legit a photographer's retreat, and
so do you know people that are going to it?
Grace was she's speaking at it. I do know that, but so I only know Grace, and she's
when is that?
She's tomorrow. Well, we leave tomorrow, but the retreat is on Friday and Saturday.
That'd be cool.
So, but like the main reason I was like, I've been looking more into passive income, investing, everything to like basically transition my life into the next step that I want for like me and Mercer. So it's like, I'm really hoping to take everything I learned this weekend and like implement it. Implement it like instantly.
I've been thinking about passive income myself a lot lately,
which is again why like I'm hustling so hard on my online courses, is because I want to evergreen them. So right now I have it so like I launch them a couple times a year, but I would eventually like to have them open year round, that anyone can join at any time, because it's just like I want to get to a point in my business where I'm making a consistent 6 figures and I can start my next business idea and I don't have to be at a wedding every weekend, because long term I want to be home with Mercer on the weekends. Like, so it's like I'm using this weekend to like kind of like as my like a kickoff to 2023. Like, okay, we're gonna hustle really hard, we're gonna get all this passive income made, because you gotta make the passive income before you can sell the passive.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense.
It's like I want to learn what I don't know, because I'm still relatively new to being an online coach, and I'm relatively new to doing this online. I'm not new to teaching it. I'm just learning the platforms, how to do the email marketing, how to actually sell the course and help my students, because like I never want to be that teacher that's just like, oh, I sold this, bye. Like, I very much enjoy having people in my DMs. I love helping people. Like, I love when new photographers are like, this is probably a stupid question. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. Like, just ask me. Like, you can ask me anything.
I like that.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm hoping that this weekend, like, legit launches and sets the tone for all of my 2023. And I'm really, because, like, this time last year, I was in California. I was in Palm Springs. And I just booked the trip on a whim and went by myself, and it set the tone for 2022. And last year was one of the best years I've had in a while, because
was that a retreat in Palm Springs?
No, that was legit. I went and I found couples to model for me. I got content.
That's cool.
And it was just a content trip for me. And I actually
Were
met
you by yourself?
Yeah, I was by myself. But like one of my couples that modeled for me, it was actually a copywriter, and she redid my copy for my website last year. And it's like so many things happened full circle. I booked a last minute trip. I met all these people.
I can see you
and
doing
then like
something like that.
It literally just like it set a huge ball like rolling, so that I'm hoping that like Mexico does the same thing for this year. It's just a bigger ball. And I'm really cool. Curious to see again this time next year. Because it's like,
Next year.
Palm Springs set the tone for me last year, and it was a really great trip, reset my mind, mama trip by herself, and now I'm doing it bigger and going to Mexico by myself. And so it's like,
No, that's really cool.
I'm just really, like, every year it's 2020 and 2021 were really hard. Postpartum, C-section, business. I was virtually unemployed because pandemic. So 2022 was a great year, and I'm really excited for 2023.
Yeah, one of our friends, Aaron, he told us this thing that he does with his kids every year on their birthday.
Masterson?
He sits them down. No, it's Reed met him at the retreat, and he was in our like year-long course. But he has a 5-year-old, I think it was. I can't remember exactly, but he said he like sits this kid down.
5, yeah.
Every year on their birthday, and he just like hits record and he just like talks to the kid.
Oh my god,
on their
that's
birthday.
adorable. I want to do that.
And like, I know like the first 2 years they're probably not going to say much. It's not going to be much talking. It's just going to be like him talking to the kid. But I feel like that'd be a great thing to do with yourself, just to be like, all right, so last year this is what I achieved, and then you look back in a year. I don't know if you did it on a specific date or something. That's something I'm gonna consider doing.
I think it was on her birthday or something, but yeah.
Yeah, just something you could do
Awesome.
at the beginning of each year, just to see how you've achieved your goals. And
If you
Okay,
guys hear
cool.
Mercer now, I'm sorry. He's up from his nap and Mark's home from work,
Oh,
so he's
you're good.
definitely running
You're
around
good.
upstairs.
No,
So it's
it's all
like,
good.
oh shit.
I mean, pretty much. I think unless there's anything else that you want to chat about, Jamie, I think we are pretty much.
No, this is good.
We can throw. Yeah, this was good.
I broke down
Anthony, you
every
think of-
question you guys asked me, so
Yeah, I love a good podcast. It's a nice, refreshing break to like get out of an edit or get out of what you're super deep into, like on your business. So it's been a good.
for me, it's just nice to talk to adults.
good.
I
Yeah,
get that.
we are probably the farthest thing from adults,
Well,
or you
yeah.
could at least get way closer.
My kind of adults.
But
So glorified children
yeah.
with debit cards.
Well, speaking of the courses and stuff, Reed and I are actually both speaking at the Light It Up thing.
Oh yeah, I was
this
gonna
year.
ask. That's exciting. I don't think I'm gonna be
I
able
think
to
we're-
make it this year, but it looks like they're doing
Yeah.
it differently.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah,
we're gonna
they're
do like
splitting it
this
up
weird
video,
midway course that's like teaches photographers how to use their cameras to do videos, like make content with their cameras and stuff like that.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
But yeah,
'Cause,
we're
like
pretty
they're
excited.
doing
definitely
styled
splitting it up.
shoots, photographers one day, videographers another day, and then photo shoots. And like I think people can go just to the photo shoots if they want.
Yeah, so you can purchase a specific, like the photo package or the video package, or you can get both. So
I'll be interested
It's
to
a
see
little
how the
different than
video
last year.
stacks up. I feel like there's not as many videographers around.
but we'll see.
Hey, I'm super
there's a lot of
secluded up in
sales.
Cedar Falls, so it's just me and Alex up here.
Yeah,
Me and Alex feel so alone.
she's gonna be giving birth here soon too, isn't she?
Yeah, I think honestly,
I
her
think
and
so.
Lauren's due dates are right around the same day. So
I was gonna say she's looking pretty big, like she's ready to go any moment.
yeah, I like me and Alex will Voxer. Do you guys know what Voxer is? So it's
Oh,
like
it's
a
like an
walkie-talkie app. So like we just
okay.
like we talk to each other, so we walkie-talkie like almost every day, and we're just like, hey,
that's
how's your
fun.
life doing? Hey, I'm in the middle of a mental breakdown. Same.
No, it's probably cool too. You guys can relate with like having kids and stuff, and
It's pretty, yeah. It's nice that it like at least me and Alex are like close to each other. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong. I have like my other photographer friends, but they're all newborn photographers, so it's just different.
oh,
They're at a different table in the cafeteria.
I get that. Yeah, I haven't seen Alex in a while. Miss her.
It's been a while.
Well, she starts
Since
her wedding season soon.
Brenna and Keegan's wedding. Yeah. Really?
Her wedding season, I think, starts in April. May. First weekend of May, because she told me her first weekend back is a doubleheader.
Oh,
Yeah.
fun.
Jeez. Yeah.
I have a doubleheader my first
Okay.
weekend back too. Whoops.
I cannot imagine that's fun.
But I couldn't
in
say
any
no.
sort of way,
Like
but-
one of them's a Monday wedding, and I was like, oh, this sounds fun. But like both of those weddings are in Des Moines,
Okay.
so I'm like,
Yeah.
do I spend the whole weekend in Des Moines or do I drive twice? I don't know.
I don't know. Des Moines is a cool city, some say. So.
Well, you know, it is what it is in Iowa. No.
It's the top of the line in Iowa.
Hang on, we got to do a knee slap. Typical goodbye. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so there it is. Well,
Well,
okay, before we do end, though, we do have to hit stop recording, and then we have to verify that it says upload complete. Like, do you
Okay.
see, like, an
mine
uploading
says
percentage?
99%.
Yeah, so it
Okay,
shouldn't take
so-
long, but we do need to wait until it says 100% before we end the call.
Command Q. No.
Okay, so real
So,
quick.
Reed,
then,
you want to do a
real
send-off?
quick. Yeah.
Like-
Thanks everybody for tuning in, listening, watching, viewing, whatever. That's so YouTube-y. And what
Please
are we doing here?
like
Welcome
and
back to my
subscribe down
channel.
below.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like,
Hello,
like and
Wisconsin.
subscribe up here. Follow the podcast up here. Do this over here. And yeah, thanks for tuning in to the Creative Crunch podcast.
The Creative
Thank you,
Crust.
Jamie, for coming on.
Creative Crust Podcast?
The Creative Crust. Yeah, we're doing a quick name change.
Graphic film formations.
The crustiest around, yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh, man.
All right, well, that's all you got for the Creative Crusty Crunch. So,
I hope you like Captain Crunch. It's fine.
yep. Goodbye.
And then you hit stop recording.